House Bill 952 by Representative Miller, Title III, Consumable Hemp Products, Regulation of Consumable Hemp Products, Definitions, Product Requirements, Limitations on Serving, Prohibit the Sale of Products to Minor. There were Senate floor amendments adopted.
Rep. Miller.
Members, I ask that we reject the Senate amendments. There's three things that we're working on. The Senate put language banning it in restaurants and bars. They received over hundreds of calls from restaurants over the weekend. We're simply just trying to discuss that and work our way through it. Second thing, technical things about the testing. Third thing is how do we define tinctures? Those are the only things we're going into the conference committee report for, and I just ask that y'all reject it just to give us a little more time to fix this, and this bill will come up, I promise.
Rep. Schlegel for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Chairman Miller, I know that you know I'm going to ask you questions on this. So tell me, why are we rejecting good amendments, good regulations the Senate put on?
Where the Senate actually, several members who voted for this amendment have actually asked to bring it in conference because they think they made a mistake. They received phone calls from plenty of restaurants within their area. And so we think we should really revisit this, look at it, make sure this is what we want to do, and we will bring the bill right back up.
Okay, so if these are the only things you are all going to be addressing in conference.
Defining and working on tincture language, bars and restaurant, what are we going to do with it? I'm not committing that it's being stripped or it may just be grandfathered in for the ones who already have a license. I'm not sure where we're going with it, but that is going to be discussed. And the third thing is just technical amendments for the testing.
Okay,
That's
so
it, nothing else.
Nothing else. Okay. So let's go to the one specifically I care about, the prohibitions on restaurants and bars, okay? So in current law in your bill, you do not allow alcohol and THC hemp to be put together in a beverage. Tell me why you think that is.
Alcohol industry acts is just not to allow THC to be mixed in alcohol, and so that's why we placed it in there.
That's not the correct answer. Did you know that using cannabis and alcohol together drastically enhances the effects of each, increasing the impairment and increased risk for dangerous situations? Do you think that's why in law we had that we don't want to put alcohol and THC together?
Might be the reason why you think it, but I mean, I don't think there's a correct answer.
Well, I think that's the right answer. So what do you think will happen when you serve THC and alcohol together at a bar?
It won't be served together. We have beverages that are mixed, that are sealed, that are child resistant, that's not including any alcohol.
What do you think is going to happen at the bar?
People would drink it if they choose to, and if they drink that, they probably won't drink alcohol.
Okay.
Rep. Marcel, why do you rise?
I mean, I will say that if I would like to do both, I mean, I can go somewhere and just purchase a drink and then go to the bar and bring my drink with me and drink both.
Okay, wait, bars let people bring in their own drinks?
I mean, I doubt they would not let you bring in something that they don't sell.
Okay, let's go back to, you said that people may just drink those. So you think it's better that people get high at a bar? Is that better public policy?
I don't think this drink necessarily gets anyone high.
Okay, well, that's not true either. Even the own hemp industry said that in criminal justice. Okay, let's go back to we're not naive. None of us are fools. We exactly know what's going to happen at a bar when alcohol and THC is served.
Rep. Schlegel, would it be okay if we allow him to reject the Senate amendments and then we can see what comes out of the conference and then debate it then?
Mr. Speaker, I'd rather us have this discussion right now so everybody knows whether they want to reject these good guardrails or not.
So if the conference committee comes up with additional guardrails, that wouldn't be something that you would want as well?
I think they're going to be stripping the guardrail, Mr. Speaker. I think that's specifically what they want to do, is they want to make sure we can serve THC in bars and alcohol. And I'd like for this body to get a full presentation of what actually that means.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, thank you.
Questions?
These are all questions. So, okay, let's talk about restaurants. When people go to restaurants, some people may have a beer or two with their meal, right? I mean, would you say that that's pretty average?
I think if they drink this, they probably don't drink beer.
Okay, so would you drive home, or do you think the average person drives home after drinking a beer with dinner?
No, that's against the law.
No, actually, it's 0.08. You can't drive, but one beer is not going to take you there. But what do you think is going to happen after someone drinks 1 or 2 THC beverages?
Their wife or what it might call Uber.
Okay, so you know what the difference is between having 1 or 2 beers at a meal versus 1 or 2 THC beverages?
No, I don't.
Rep. Phelps, why do you rise?
Mr. Speaker, I'm trying to understand if these questions are germane to the amendment. I understood the discussion that you just had, and I don't think that's been afforded to everyone in this body before.
They are germane to the rejection of the amendments, yes.
Not the amendment itself.
To the rejection of the amendment.
Thank you.
Okay, so the correct answer is only one of those with one can actually get you high. So in your bill, you have a warning that consumption of products with THC may result in a failure of a drug test. So a person goes to a restaurant, has only one THC beverage, drives home, gets in an accident, someone dies. The person is testing positive for THC. You know what that person's going to be charged with?
No, ma'am.
Vehicular homicide. So do you think allowing THC to be consumed on premises at bars and restaurants makes our roads safer or more dangerous?
I definitely thought what I heard was individuals wanted this to be away from children and kids, and that's what the bill accomplished.
Oh, no, I always said this was about public safety and kids. So did you know the National Institute of Health report studies show that compared to solely drinking alcohol, using the two substances at the same time increases the odds of drunk driving? So the answer is it makes our roads more dangerous. So on Friday, you asked everyone to reject more guardrails because you said it would kill an industry. Restaurant and bars sell food and alcohol, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So the Senate amendment's not going to kill any businesses, correct?
Based off of the hundreds of calls that many members received, I'm not sure what it would do to the industry.
What industry? The restaurant and...
There's one restaurant, particularly in your district, that called several members throughout the weekend begging them to not stop the sale of this within their bar, within their restaurant. And I think people can probably tell you the name of that restaurant.
Well, Chairman Miller, I represent all the people in my district. Like Rep. Furman says, I'm not going to choose the profit of the few for the good public of the whole. So this amendment's not going to kill...
Rep. Schlegel,
Yes.
you can ask questions on the amendment, but you can't ask for perspective in nature. And if you have a statement on it, press your floor and come to the floor.
Yes, sir.
So ask a question on the amendment, looking for an answer on the amendment.
Okay.
That's what I told her, no. Yeah.
So if it makes our roads more dangerous, it's not going to kill business, do you think having these amendments on actually might prevent people from dying on the roads? If it increases drunk driving?
I don't think there's any documents that we have right now that this has caused someone to be killed on our road.
So you can go to the National Institute of Health, and they have studies that show it increases drunk driving when you combine the two, and that's what you'll be doing in bars. Okay, so last question.
Not everybody go to a bar to drink. Some go there to be social and just talk to others. Not everyone drink liquor in a bar. And so what about the ones who are buying this in other places or on it and getting it from the pharmacies, and they have it in their pocket and they take a gummy or something while they're at the bar? If someone wants to consume both, you can consume it now. And let's remember, if you want to get it from the medical pharmacies, all you got to do is get online. I can pull it up on my phone.
Okay, so we're discussing on-site taking THC at a bar. So Friday evening in the Speaker's office, after the Senate vote, you promised us you would pass this bill no matter what. So during this process, if it fails in conference or whatnot, or if it fails right now, if we reject your rejection of the amendments, are you going to bring a motion to concur with the Senate amendments and pass this bill as promised?
I promise you, one way or another, this bill will pass this session.
Well, I hope members think about public safety.
Rep. Stagney for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On the amendment, Chairwoman Schlegel was talking about, it was a 1918 vote, wasn't it?
Yes, sir.
For the banning in bars and restaurants. How many people are killed every year from alcohol?
Man, that's a large number.
It's about 174,000. So the hundreds of emails that I have received saying that this type of drink is an alternative to alcohol, wouldn't that save lives, not make it worse? If they're consuming less alcohol on the roads.
I would agree.
Listen, I hope you put it in the conference. You have kept your word about bringing a bill that has regulations more than are already in place. I appreciate you continuing to do that. I would ask the body to please put it in the conference, allow you to get the work done, and then if the body wants to reject it at that time, they have the ability.
Yes, and I think it's important to know that everything that we agreed to is in the bill. These last minute things that was added was never agreed upon. And listen, not just restaurants and bars, but you have convenience stores, everyone's calling us. I had a guy call me today and asked me to amend this bill to to put it in vending machines. I asked him if he was crazy. I said I could never pass this in this body. But just to tell you how far some people want us to go, we increased guardrails, we limited it tremendously in this bill, and we just want to have these discussions on these last few things that occurred without being agreed upon.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Rep. McCormick for a question.
Hello. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Representative, so you say that why you're wanting to reject these amendments, one of the things is they want to be able to have these drinks with THC in bars. Is that correct?
You want to have that discussion? Yes, sir.
Okay, that sounds good. I presume that these areas are already restricted to people 21 years of older. Is that correct?
I mean, most people that work in a bar, whether they have a bar license, and so they're already IDing individuals to make sure they're 21 years old before they.
So they're trained. Are they trained to be able to tell the age, to find out the age of the customer before they serve them? Is that correct?
Yes, sir. And the ones we're discussing, they're currently doing it. They currently have their licenses. They currently are trained to do it, and we just want to go into conference to keep having these discussions with leadership. Do we grandfather them in? Do we keep it in, or do we take it out?
And it's my understanding if they don't follow these rules, they lose those licenses. Is that correct? To be able to
They
sell
would
alcohol?
lose that license and the alcohol license as well.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate all the work you've done, and I think I will be voting not to concur. Thank you.
Thank you.
Rep. Marcel for a question.
Thank you, Representative Miller, for your incredible work on this issue. Would you agree that a lot of the conversation around this issue had been about kids getting THC and drinking it?
That's what I think the objective of the bill was initially, to keep
but-
it out of reach of kids and
Are you-
limiting the milligrams, et cetera. And it
Right.
mostly was about drinks and gummies, and now all of a sudden everything else is coming into discussions. And so,
Yeah, and that's what I was going to ask you. So right now, children can't go into bars, can they?
no, ma'am.
I didn't think so. So what you're doing is continuing the discussion, going in a conference, just like any of the other bills that we've had, where somebody was trying to work something out on a particular issue, and you're trying to get to the best compromise.
That's what I'm attempting to do.
And this has nothing to do with children getting gummies or, this conversation from the real issue.
We have senators said they received hundreds of calls on this topic after they voted on it, and so they asked me to bring it up in the conference.
Well, I appreciate your work, and I appreciate your honesty regarding this piece of legislation, and thank you.
Thank you.
Representative Miller moves to reject. In the Senate amendments, in favor vote. In favor of rejection, vote no. Those opposed, I'm sorry, let me correct that. Those in favor of rejecting, vote yes. Those opposed, vote no. Madam Clerk, please open machines. Members, vote your machines. Green, yes. Members are either voting. Clerk will close the machine. We have 62 yeas, 39 yeas, and the amendments have been rejected.